Hey folks, Tim here from Rockout Videography. Today I'm going to give you a tour of my home recording studio. It's March of 2017. So we'll talk about what's good, what's bad. Hopefully everything's going to be changing by the end of the year, so we'll do another tour then. Let's take a look at what I got. First of all, anybody that knows about this stuff, what you're going to notice right away is where I've got stuff set up at the moment. This is a horrible position for mixing. So I mix on headphones. And I've got a set of EX29s there. Right now I'm using a 1818 VSL PreSonus. I started out with the 44 VSL, and I've got a PreSonus headphone mixer there. And I'm using Studio One Artist as my DAW at the moment. I've got BX5 M Audio monitors, but I'm not really using them because, again, this is, if you look at what I got going on here, essentially the back wall is like less than 8 feet from where the monitors are at. And you've got, on the right side, you've got your point of first reflection is a short wall, and then there's more of it over here. If you look to the left, the point of first reflection's way over there. So just, yeah, very unbalanced, very horrible. But at the time that I set everything up, it's just what made sense. And it's kind of before I really got into the recording stuff. Yeah, so one other thing to mention here. I still have my first piece of recording equipment, a Tascam Portastudio 414, which I can't imagine why I would ever want to use it to record something. I could, but I am able to use it as a sub-mixer. And then I also have my Yamaha AW16G, and it still works. I should probably do a tutorial. There's a way I recently was able to get individual tracks off of this thing as I think they were WAV files, but anyway, and then put them into Studio One and remix stuff that I'd recorded like 10 years ago. So we'll take a walk around and I'll kind of show you how things are laid out here. Over here I've got, this is my son's guitar. This is his SX, just bought it for him for Christmas. He's left-handed, he's 8 years old, so he's got a 3/4 scale left-handed Tele. My old Line 6 Spider amp, this is a horrible amp, it sounds really nasty, but it's great for my son to learn on. And I've also got an old Fender Performer 1000, which this thing is really, really loud. It's got a small tube preamp, and it doesn't sound as good as a Fender Twin, but it's what I've got at the moment. So take a look over here, the collection of guitars. That's the Kramer Farrington bass. Got a Fender acoustic. I've got an old 1990s Korean Squier P bass that belongs to a friend of mine. It's been over here visiting at the house for a while. And the Squier vintage modified 70s jazz bass. The best bass I own right there is a Fender 62 reissue 91, made in America, and an old K Vanguard electric guitar. That was the first guitar that was given to me by my dad when I was just in high school. A couple of old acoustic nylon string guitars. My special edition Telecaster. Newest acquisition, a Daisy Rock guitar with a broken nut that I need to fix for my daughter. Fender Banjo over there in the corner. Got some small djembes that I bought for the kids that they play. I've got my full-size djembe and a cajon. So let me back up so you can kind of get an overview of the room. You'll notice that the windows right now are covered with some DIY acoustic drapes that I built. They're not doing anything to keep noise from going in or out. They're just adding some acoustic treatment to the room to kind of soak up some of the reflections. Drum set over here is an old Pacific drum set. This one was before they were Pacific Drum Works or whatever. But basically it's an inexpensive version of a drum workshop. Sounds pretty good. Replace the heads on it. And right here my bass amp, the one I've had since the 1990s. This thing right here is an Ampeg SVT2. This thing is really loud. It's also like 90 pounds before you even add the enclosure to it. This thing got lugged up and down the stairs with the 810 cabinet for many, many years. And I do not want to take this thing on gigs anymore, which is why I bought a TC Electronics BG250, which is like 35 pounds. I mean, my son can pick it up and move it. And my newest bass right there, the Squier Classic Vibe 50s Precision bass, my current favorite. I love this thing. I've got a small PA system that we use for, actually as monitors. You can see over here, it's a Phonic PowerPod PA system. And this old PV, what is that, XR600C. That was the PA system that my band used in the 90s. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to my guitarist and singer from my band, the Burnlackers. So we practice over here quite a bit, so we've got that. And we use the big Yamaha mains as our mains when we're practicing. And over on this end, this is a bar that I built. And it's kind of nice to have it in here because this room gets used for not just recording, it gets used for band practice, rehearsals, jam session parties. So it's cool to have a kind of the pub feel for hanging out. So we'll take a look at my microphone collection real quick. I got a pair of Sterling ST55 condenser microphones, and I've got 3 Digital Reference DRI 100 instrument mics, which are really good on, I've been using them on guitar cabinets, and a set of DR LVX2, I believe, vocal mics, kind of like an SM58. They no longer make these, they've been superseded by a new model. And an EV 357B vocal microphone. Usually I will set this up for the singer in my band when she's over here singing. It works good on her vocals. And I've got my Audio-Technica drum mic kit, microphone kit. So 3 snare tom mics and a kick drum mic, which I've also used for recording acoustic bass on the Farrington Kramer bass. So yeah, that's the microphone collection. Over here I've got the pegboard set up for cable management. But yeah, this room gets used for a lot of stuff. Like I said, band practice, rehearsals, recording, jam sessions, parties, hanging out. It's also the auxiliary TV watching room with the big screen TV there. One other thing, there's a keyboard over here. Yamaha keyboard that I have put stickers on to help me and the kids to know where the notes are. I'm not a keyboard player by any means, but it is handy to have around. It's I've had it for almost 10 years. It's a Yamaha E203. I'm sorry, PSR E203 keyboard. But it gets the job done. One other thing too to point out, here's another bass amp, the Fender Rumble 30. This thing is probably one of the most useful pieces of gear that I own. This was given to me as a gift by a friend, the indestructible Jimmy Durden. I have used this thing for band practice when we go over to the drummer's house. You can actually, it's loud enough to play alongside a kit with hot rods. He was playing with sticks last time, and this thing was still loud enough. I've used it for keyboards. In fact, it's hooked up pretty much most of the time here to the keyboard. I've used it on acoustic guitar. I've recorded bass by miking it up and sticking it in a closet, which, that reminds me one other thing to show. Over here by the bar, we'll take a look. On the other side of this wall is my master bedroom closet. And so what I actually did was cut out a hole and put in a cut-in ring. I don't know what the right word for it is, like a mud ring. But basically so I could put in a blank plate, and I have a piece of foam floor mat there to kind of seal it off. And I can run headphone, microphone, guitar cables. I've done vocals in there. And take a look. This is what it looks like. I can hang stuff up, drape things over the clothes, and set up microphone and headphones in there. I've put guitar amps in here. I've recorded vocals in this closet. Works out pretty good. So yeah, that's the home recording studio / music room. Thanks guys for taking a look at the video. As always, if you like this stuff, please subscribe and give me a like. Thanks.